Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi from Gerchik Co and you're watching the markets review. During this program, we're going to check the situation on the stock market, Forex market, and of course the cryptocurrency market as well. We're going to check the price action of the most popular assets of the cryptocurrency market and Forex market. And we're going to start from the situation of the stock market, and of course we're going to check the news background. So we could get some fundamental analysis as well. Then we are going to check the technical situation. So we're going to make some conclusions by the technical analysis of the charts. As you see for today and from today's start and yesterday's start of the stock markets of this week, we have a kind of a green situation. But unfortunately, due to the price action which we have now, there is some suspicions still remain at the markets that we could get really bad lows, bad dips, and really sharper downward movements, which could lead prices to go really low. For example, to 3,200, maybe 3,400. But now, for now, S&P 500 index, the main stock market index of the United States, is around 3,600. That's a target level about which we told you during previous program, previous Thursday, that prices are going to retest this level first. Then we would see some correctional movement. Then prices maybe would go lower, but all of this should happen and should take place inside the downward channel, inside some downward channel, which is here. Actually, we can actually see it. And for now, for today, we're really located around the local minimums and around the bottom of the market. So there would be some optimistic moments, but mostly there is a pessimism around the world, and due to the war situation in Ukraine, due to the energy crisis and food crisis, and of course due to the high inflation and Federal Reserve System's monetary policy tightening, which is getting really harsh. There's too much suspicions about stock markets. So unfortunately, sorry, if even we see any kind of chances for market to technically make some upward impulses, even some upwards correctional movements, we shouldn't really get into it because there is too many suspicions around the stock market nowadays, and they're getting higher and higher. But actually, previously we actually heard that Buffett said there is no matter prices mostly when they are making the really deep run through the bottoms, through the local minimums. Most of investors have to think about that prices actually are going to return back then and make some correction after that, which could actually continue for some midterm or even long term. So that's what Warren Buffett said, I think, yesterday. And there is another news which is related again to China, about which we discussed during previous session. That here is a former U.S. investor actually saying that lifting China tariffs, trading tariffs between United States and China, could slash and actually make inflation to maybe get decreased about 1%, which is not really unrealistic, which is not a really unrealistic target, because due to the inflation percentage and the monetary policy tightening, any kind of even low amount of decreasing of the inflation decreasing for the United States, it would be really good for the stock market of the United States, because it's really showing, due to the technical charts, due to the technical picture, it's really showing the stock market mainly due to the, for example, long-term charts, like weekly charts or daily charts. The stock market is showing that it's kind of tough and it's kind of strong despite the Federal Reserve System's monetary policy tightening. and we actually was breaking through 4,000, which is a psychological level, for a long time, for some months, actually for a month and a half, we were waiting for the breakthrough of 4,000. Then we broke it through. Then now it's actually this week we opened a little bit lower, but this gap here, which have been formed already. Look at here, this distance between the closing of previous weekly candle and this week's candle, it could be already a really great sign of a reversal. So we'd have to get closed, not during this week, but maybe during next week. So all of this is telling us that stock market actually have its own strength, and inflation problem could exist, but there is different type of things, different type of moments and facts that they could actually save this problem. For example, the trading with China, in which is really interested China himself and United States as Biden's administration, because voting sessions are getting close, and Democratic Party actually have many things to deal with during this year, next year, and actually maybe they're going to stay for next year. But we have to be so careful with that, because for now, Democrats are kind of solving different type of problems around the world, starting from the Russian aggression, finishing by the food crisis, energy crisis, and etc. and etc. So, are they actually dealing well? We cannot say, but there is a really great opportunity if China and the United States get a little bit tighter, if China and the United States get a little bit closer, many problems could get solved, not only across the United States, but across the world. So we are going to start our analysis by the analyzing of the economic calendar of today. But let me first get through the stock market indexes, S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and then we go to dollar and forex pairs. Before that, we're going to check the economic calendar, because there will be more assets which are related to the economic calendar in forex sector than in the stock market sector. So $4,000 under this level, we actually have opened a really big amount of space, which is a gap, which have to get closed. So that's a weekly picture. In the daily picture, we have a picture of some slowdown of downward movement. This could be good news, but let's see what is waiting for us during the day. Due to the 4-hour chart, amplitude is really low. We cannot say that prices are going to make some upward, stable upward movement, or stable upward. The continuation of the stable upward movement is not really obvious. It's not really realistic, and mostly we have to pay attention that 3,800 is a level which could get retested, and prices are going to stop under this level mostly. That's bad news. But this problem would get solved during next week. I think that we are going to get above 3,100, maybe 4,000 even from next week, not this week. Any kind of impulsive retest of these levels, like 3,800, 4,000, would be a really bad news, because prices, after the impulsive retest, after the speculative retest of this level, mostly they're going to reverse and continue the downward movement. Dow Jones prices, industrial index of United States stock market, is showing the same picture, and lowering of amplitude around the mirror level is a really important factor for Dow Jones. Another thing, we break through the local minimum, but we have not yet really further, and that's about 20% of previous amplitude of previous wave. If we can say that now we are retesting psychological level of 30,000, we were around this level from previous week, and from the sessions ending of previous weeks, and now we still around this psychological level. If is there if is there going to be any speculation, it's going to be a bullish speculation. So maybe in the near future, in nearest hours, sessions, maybe days, we are waiting for some upward impulse, bullish impulse, to 31,000, 32,000. I don't think that 32,000 is really realistic, but 31,000, 31,500. And then after that, mostly prices are going to reverse and continue the downward movement to new minimums. This is something that should happen during this week. So from next week, mostly we could get a little bit more pro bullish. So from the next week, we could get a little more potential for prices to continue some kind of upward trend, at least in midterm, at least for some days. And let's see what's going on with the Nasdaq prices, which is the um, high-tech index of United States stock market. Really conservative. Now, the prices are really moving so conservative, and the amplitude is really low. And that's all happened after the breakthrough of the local minimum. Why prices are not going further? Why they are not falling further? There actually could be some speculative movements, bullish speculations in the near future. I think so. 12,000, 12,500 maybe is going to get retested, but mostly after that we're going to go further till the end of the week, and then from the next week maybe we're going to get into some reversal pattern, get into some reversal midterm movement. So next comes dollar index, but before we check dollar index prices, we actually need to check the economy calendar as well. So for today, economy calendar is kind of empty. There is some releases from Canada, core retail sales, which is getting lower. That's not really good for Canadian dollar. But if oil prices is not falling, Canadian dollar won't fall that much. So be careful. United States at 2 o'clock p.m. existing home sales, which is getting lower as well. So as we know, housing business in the United States is under real high pressure now, as around the world, just because of the higher inflation and because of the interest rate hiking in different countries. Tomorrow, Wednesday, British CPI, not such progress. Canadian dollar 12.30, core CPI, consumer prices index, which is getting lower. So Canada is kind of negative this week. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testifies, which is important. Mostly, I'm just waiting for the moment when Jerome Powell start to say and start to start to predict the lower inflation. I'm just waiting for this moment because we are all waiting for this moment. Most of the investors, for now, they are not in panic. The kind of a panic situation we have nowadays, but most investors are not in shorts. They're in longs, and they're waiting. Actually, they're waiting for Federal Reserve System to change the monetary policy, because this could really happen after the end of the second quarter of this year. And during the third quarter, actually, we have to so the federal system have to stop to hiking the interest rates. Thursday, Germany and manufacturing PMI, not so good. British PMI, situation is kind of the same. Nothing changes for Britain, and economically, as we see, Europe, Britain for this week looks not so good. Initial jobless claims from United States, which is a really important release. Pay attention on it. Will release at Thursday. So here we have the moderate progress of the job market, which is good for dollar prices, which is going to be good for dollar price. And the second time when the Federal Reserve System's chairman Jerome Powell testifies. So crude oil inventories, no predictions. Maybe it would appear later, but there's no prediction. Um, for Friday, the last day of this week, we're going to have releases from Britain. Not so good. Germany, not that much. It's not good. Nothing good for Britain or Europe. New home sales from United States, which is not good as well. So there's mostly more negative releases for most of them, except United States. So we could kind of predict the situation of mostly how it's going to be during this week for the pairs like euro dollar, pound dollar, and for example other assets like dollar CHF, dollar JPY, dollar Canadian dollar. And that's all for this week. We're going to now go through the uh, analysis of Forex pairs, and we're going to start from the most important and famous one or popular one, euro. I'm sorry, we just skipped dollar. DXY, dollar index. We just skip it. So first, actually start from dollar index analysis. So here was the situation from previous week. 104, 106. It was a target range for sellers to get into market. We told you about this, that 104, 106 is going to get retested, and after the retest of this range, prices most are going to reverse, and that's what happened. So we reversed back. But this opening of today's markets and this gap is it's not really a good thing. We could get some speculations here, bullish speculations, but mostly we are waiting for a closure of this gap. So prices of dollar maybe could continue downward movement. Later we are going to check the situation with the oil market. We are going to check the situation with the gold prices, the commodity prices, and then make some comparisons with the price action of dollar. Find out how this correlation, this opposite correlation of dollar with gold and oil would help traders to maybe find out where dollar is heading and is going to. An impulsive downward movement, the retest of local mirror level, which is around 100, 103. Yes, it's about 103, which is a psychological level, mostly. And the opening with a really, really big gap. So most of us can say that prices for some days maybe it's not going to rise that much, but there would be speculative movements because consolidational movement here, consolidation which we have, is a signal of the next jump in the prices. So so the speculation here could be bullish as well. 106 could get retested, and we don't have to forget about it. As we know, situation with dollar prices for this week would be better, but mostly the oil prices and gold prices would decide where dollar to go, because the Federal Reserve System monetary policy, which is now going for hiking interest rates and tightening the monetary policy, it could be already counted by the market. And we're getting to the moment, we're getting really close to that moment when maybe markets would say no to Jerome Powell's intervention. So let's go through the other Forex pairs first, and then we're going to see what's going on with commodity prices. So here maybe euro would show us that there is some chance of upward impulse for euro, but mostly euro as well is going to reverse and fall, because here is a mirror level, a really important mirror level, which is a range about, which is around 1.060, 1.065 And if we get tight, if we get the strength and above this level, this would be a good signal. But I think that for future, in the future, after the retest of this level, mostly there's going to happen next scenario. We are going to retest it impulsively and reverse, or we are going to strengthen above it, but the amplitude is going to get lower, lower, and lower, which would be the second signal of the reversal downward. So I think that these two kind of scenarios are the most possible scenarios for euro in the near future. GBP to United States dollar, pound prices, British pound prices. We're gonna check it. Here as well, we have a local, really important local resistance of 1.24, 1.25. Let's say 1.25 is a better level. Impulsively, we could retest this level, and mostly we could even strengthen above this level. But I think that even after that, prices and the amplitude of prices is going to get lower and lower, which would be a signal of a reversal from 1.25. Australian dollar to United States dollar. Consolidation, really beautiful consolidation. Here we have a chance and potential of the continuation of this upward movement mostly, and only because Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, they got a little bit, they're a little bit tight into oil prices. They are a little bit more powerful than a euro or a pound, because they has positive correlation, straight correlation with oil prices, which are rising, mainly are rising. So here, this consolidation is going to finish. United States dollar prices are going to reverse from the top of the market, and this is the thing that Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar are going to use. So prices are going to further rise. This upward movement could be a little bit moderate for midterm, but in the near future we are going to have some upward impulses. 0.71, 0.70, 50, let's say, and 71 are the next levels which are going to get retested. So if we want to make something out of it, check the 1 hour chart, 15-minute charts, and you would find some solutions for day tradings for intraday as well. New Zealand dollar to United States dollar. 0.64, 0.65. I think that 0.65 is so far, so I'm going to take 0.6450 as a range, 0.6450, 0.64 as a range of the local resistance which could get retested, and after that prices are going to reverse. Here we have a really great signal, mostly not the reversal signal, but the signal of prices getting kind of, volatility is getting tighter, and that's why we are going to have some price jump in near future. Next, we're going to go through the energy market, oil prices and gas prices. We're going to monitoring the prices of these two assets as well. So, from previous week, we had a continuation of up downward movement. Prices already have been retested the level of $110. That's a good level. Now prices are kind of rebouncing, kind of reversing. Can we believe this trend? Can we say that this trend is going to be midterm or is going to continue? Of course we can, because oil mostly fundamentally is getting the support, and it's supported by the war situation, supported by some energy prices which we haven't, which is continuing for now, which would continue for a long term. There's a chance for oil prices to actually start the upward trend, to start the upward tendency, continue this movement to 116, 120, and get above this level as well. But here for risk, actually, we can choose 104, maybe 106, and in the case of prices get stuck under this level, we could say that prices maybe are not going to run as fast as we want it to. So range 106, 104 is not a bad range. In the case of prices get tight and get stuck under it, we could say that most they are not going to rally that fast. But I don't think that this kind of thing is going to happen to oil prices. Natural gas prices. Situation kind of the same as we can see. Correctional movements, really impulsive, which is telling us that mainly this situation is about speculativeness. So we have a speculation here. That's a speculation now. And this speculation is actually showing us that price is mostly reversed from $6.50, $7, and they are going to rise, and they're going to reverse from 650, as we said from previous time. $7, 650 are the levels that they could get retested. But now this kind of price movement, this kind of consolidation is such a signal, which as well pro bullish trend, pro reversal. So next comes United States dollar to Canadian dollar, which is a interesting index of dollar to oil actually prices, because Canadian dollars get supported by oil prices so much. So downward movement of dollar prices here, United States dollar prices to Canadian dollar prices from 1.30 have been predicted by us from the previous time. If you remember, we told that mostly prices after the retest of 1.30 are going to reverse. Don't look at this kind of speculation, which are going to happen. So we told you that there would be some speculation. There would be some speculation which make you believe that prices are going to go higher than this maximum, which is really unrealistic, which was really unrealistic for that time, because we're having a really long and like really big candle, which is a signal of impulsiveness of the price around the um, roof of the market, around the local highs. And this is a psychological level. 130 is a psychological level. So what are you waiting for? That's what we said from previous time, that most of the prices are going to reverse. That's the reversal which we had. And this reversal happened despite oil prices downward movement. Because oil prices went down, it means that this pair have to go up. But this didn't happen actually. So that's actually show us very well that mm, the main thing here is, and the main thing that we are waiting for is the reversal of United States dollar, and the continuation of oil prices rising in the future. Is there any fundamental potential for that? I can say that there is, and there is not that critical for oil to rise further. And what is going on now is that markets are getting ready just for another jump. Stock market is kind of waiting, and while this is going on, energy market is going to start to rise after the stock market as well is going to rise. United States dollar to Mexican peso, which is kind of has a straight correlation with oil prices. The pair has an opposite correlation, but the Mexican peso has a straight correlation with oil prices. Downward movements have been pressed. The volatility have been pressed. We have a really low amplitude while we're retesting a local minimum. That's a good signal for reversal at first. So maybe near 20.0520, which is a psychological level again, we are waiting for reversal, which could make prices to get into some consolidational movement at first, and then maybe fall further or reverse. So here we have to wait for 20 to get retested. $20. Next, we go through the Gold prices, silver, palladium, platinum, which are the commodities, risk assets. Stock market is not rising that much, but gold prices as well. Isn't it suspicious? Because if you remember, we had analytics about from different analytic banks, big banks, about that gold prices could actually rise in the case of stock markets falling. But as we see, they are not. They are not rising that much. Dollar has a power, and gold prices are not actually rising. And my prediction is that they are not going to, but stock market as well is not going to fall that much. What is going on with gold prices? The consolidation is continuing. From previous time, we had a reversal from local minimums. It didn't get the targets. It didn't get even to the local maximums. Now we have some formation of a flag, of a wedge, if we can say downward wedge or downward flag, during an upward movement, during this movement. So this could be a good signal of the continuation of this upward trend. And the level 1830, 1820 is a good range of support. So above which we could actually continue to buy, and under which we have to actually forget about buying. Silver prices. Silver prices, $22 have been retested as well. Here we have a range of 2140, 2130, which is a good range of a support of a risk, under which we actually have to forget about buying. So before prices get under these levels, we can be sure that prices are going to moderately, at least moderately, continue the upward movement. Palladium prices. A reversal pattern here is forming. We're around 1800, 1820. So before we get under 1820 as well, here's a chance of continuation of this upward movement. And it looks like that we are, for now, we are under a mirror level of 1900, but I think that we are going to get above it in the near future. But I don't really bet on the continuation of upward movement in the long term or the midterm for any commodity, even for now. Platinum prices here as well, showing us that we have some reversal pattern, which means the prices are going to jump a little bit. There is a psychological level 1000, which is really far away, but 970, 960 could get retested. So after the retest of 970, 960, maybe prices are going to return to the consolidational movement, like here, for example, or just jump around this mirror level of 960, 970. So here, mostly we're going to have some upward movement, but that's not upward movement for long term. We have some pairs which has a correlation with gold and other commodities like JPY and CHF, the Swiss franc. And the situation with JPY, as we told you from previous time, that there would be some speculations because prices are kind of making some downward movements, and that's what the correction of dollar done to this pair. But we told you that prices actually are going to continue to rise because Japanese bank is going to change the monetary policy to more tougher, to more tighter, but not now, not today, not tomorrow, not within a week or a month. So they're going to change something, but yet they haven't said anything about it. 136, 138 are the levels around which we're going to balance, around which we are going to bounce maybe during this week, maybe next week. So 136, 137 are the levels which we are going to retest in the future for United States dollar to JPY and for instance dollar to CHF to Swiss franc. Here we had a really harsh and harsher downward movement because CHF is more powerful than JPY. Consolidation here means that prices are not going to continue downward movement, but there would be some speculative moments. 0.9580, 0.95, I'm sorry, 0.9560, 0.9540 is a good range after the retest, which we could actually get into buys again if we won't get stuck under this range. And at least we're going to get into cryptocurrency markets. So Bitcoin prices, Ethereum prices. Here we have some reversal pattern which looks like a head and shoulder, but we're not always we don't have to always actually believe to the pattern because they sometimes don't work. Mostly the things that are important are, for example, the convergence here. Convergence between the minimums and the line of estimator, for example. That's a good sign, which have been made prices to a little bit rise, actually. So they made prices to make some correctional movements upward. 22,500, 22,500, maybe 25,000 is the next level. Speculatively, we are going to retest it. But don't forget, Bitcoin is getting ready to fall to 15,000, to 10,000 as well. We had 17,000 just days ago. So we are going to have it lower. But for now, for today, maybe we're going to have some speculative movement. 22,500, I'm sorry, 23, 25, 23,000, 25,000 are the levels which could get retested, but mostly prices are not going to strengthen above these levels. So they're going to actually reverse after the retest of this range of 23,000 and 25,000. And next comes Ethereum, which is the other important and popular assets. If you please show it to me. Situation with Ethereum have to be the same actually, but that would be so good if I could open it. Alright guys, maybe today we're going to make it without Ethereum, but let's see what is going on with Chainlink at least. Maybe it could show us. Yeah, Chainlink is actually loading, but not Ethereum. So strange. Later, I'm gonna see what's going on with Ethereum. This would be actually some errors connect related to the site. I think so. $8. Chainlink have been raised to $8. And here's the mirror level. And I don't think that next we're going to get to 10, but we are going to rebound and actually maybe consolidate around 858 and then again get to 750 and just continue to consolidate, and after maybe we're going to continue the upward movement. What is interesting next is Polkadot, maybe for some people, which is interesting as well. $9 is now testing actually. So 859 are the levels which could get retested, but I don't see any chances for prices to get a higher amplitude. I don't know why. And let's see what is going on with Avalanche. The same picture actually, $20 we need to $20 to get retested, and we need to strengthen above this mirror level. Before that, most of the prices are going to continue to be downward movement. Speculations could actually continue to 20 to 22, but not more. I think the prices are going to reverse and go downward after the nearest upward impulses. And Ethereum, 1,500 have been broken through, and 1,000. Oh, yeah, we have 900, but we haven't 7 or 8. We told you about 7, I think, or we told you about 6 or 7 from previous time, if I remember. The price are going to retest 7 or 600, but we didn't get 700 even. So maybe in the near future we could get some speculations to 13,000, 1,300, 1,500. But don't forget, prices are going to go further, to fall further. So for now, for today, cryptocurrency market has some chances to make some speculative upward bullish movements, but after that, prices are going to reverse as always from previous month or two. Thank you guys for your attention. Thank you that you watched this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you won't miss any of our products or videos. Don't forget to check the official site. There we can find different type of instruments for tradings. If you're a beginner or if you're an expert, doesn't matter. You can find different packages for sale, which has a really good sell-off on each of them, and you can actually check the information of what is included in each of these boxes, which meant to be for our traders, different type of courses, different type of instruments, and maybe some things which are so which would be so useful for terminals, for trading terminals. Don't forget to check all of this information. So till next time, have good tradings. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.